The movie begins with a high school American soccer game in the pouring rain. We see two high school teams playing on the field, and the white team is clearly losing. However, the main character, named Jake, gets involved in the game. The guy pulled off some successful blocks and did not let the opponents pass. One of the opponents got so angry that he started insulting the dead father of our hero. Our Jake does not tolerate such things, and quickly taught the bully a lesson, putting him in his place. In the locker room, Jake informs his friend that he is moving to another state. The next day, while packing for the move, Jake's younger brother, named Charlie, drops a box of old clothes. Jake finds the t-shirt of his dead father, however, for the hero. It is a very painful memory, and the guy threw it in the box with the signature, "Unnecessary junk." The move to a new state is complete, and our hero is in a new school. Walking near the school, Jake noticed hooligans who were beating up a guy. Our hero rushed to separate them, but the victim was not against this fight, and everyone asked Jake not to interfere with them. We see how the guy sits in classes and shows himself to be a very smart person, because he answers all the questions of the teacher without difficulty. After school, Jake is approached by a girl named Baha. She is very curious why his family moved to this state. Jake replies that his brother plays tennis professionally, and in order to realize his future, his family had to move. During dinner time, Jake is unhappy about the family's hardship, as they have to eat cheap food and move from place to place forever. However, we realize that the problem is actually Jake, because all the moves are connected with his fights. Our hero has been expelled from every school he's ever been to. Soon the video of our hero spread all over the school, and all the girls started to pay attention to Jake. In the cafeteria, a guy named Max became friends with Jake. Later, even Baha invited Jake to a party, and the guy could not refuse the girl because almost the whole school gathered there. At the party, the guys were having fun, dancing, and girls in bikinis hinted that the evening would be very interesting. Soon Jake and Max were approached by the owner of the house, Ryan. This guy showed our hero something more interesting, namely the fights that took place right on the street. It turns out that this is how these guys entertain themselves. At this moment, Baha came to the party, and Jake immediately noticed her. Unexpectedly, Ryan offered a fight to Jake, because our hero is a legend, and his video of the fight at the soccer game has already been seen by the whole school. But Jake refused to fight, and then Ryan kissed Budgie to spite him. But that didn't help either. And then Ryan started insulting Jake's father, and Jake doesn't forgive such insolence. The guy is furious and intends to fight. Jake was given the gloves, and then the fight began. At first everything was going well, but then Ryan started to attack Jake, and although the guy tried to respond somehow, he couldn't do anything against a professional street fighter. Eventually a heavy punch knocked Jake down. However, Jake got up, but not for long, because a few seconds later, the final blow landed in the hero's head. Our hero regained consciousness already at home, and there was a huge black eye under his eye. In the evening, Max came to Jake and gave him a video with martial arts. Max also invited his friend to the martial arts section, but Jake refused. However, the next day, Jake still came to the training room. Coach Gene told the new recruit that today's class was for the advanced group, but Jake asked to go to the training session, saying that he was a fast learner. The workout was very hard. Lots of different strength and endurance exercises, and in the end, Jake was completely exhausted. At the end of the session, however, the trainer informed him that it was just a warm-up, and the real test would begin right away. Jake was put into sparring with a guy who was 10 kilograms lighter. Our hero thought that he could easily overcome him, and even joked about it. However, the partner immediately grabbed Jake in a chokehold. The guy had to give up, but our Jake is not used to giving up, and so he just fell asleep. In the end, Gene agreed to train Jack, but on the condition that the guy would be more careful. In the evening, Baha came to visit our hero. The girl apologized for the incident at the party, but Jake thought that he was framed, and so he drove the beauty away. The next day, Jake came to the training room an hour early because he thought he needed to work out a lot and get in shape. The trainer notices that Jake really needs to train because his kicks on the bag are not good, as the kicks are very weak, and his breathing is constantly confused. Gene gives the guy a couple of tips on how to work the sack. We see that our hero began to progress, and after a while his strength and endurance increased a lot. Ryan was basking in the glory with Baji at the time, and the girl was already beginning to be disappointed in him. Soon Jake's mom finds out that her son has withdrawn money from his account and spent it to train in fights without rules. They have a conflict over the situation. In class, all the students are grouped together, and Baji joins Jake's group to be closer to him. And after class, the girl goes to Ryan and announces that she is leaving him because she thinks he was very mean to Jake at the party. Ryan humiliates the girl and then grabs her arm. At this point, Jake shows up and asks the bully to let the girl go. There was no fight this time, but the narcissistic bully insulted Jake's father again. Another training session takes place, where our hero learns another lesson. Never be angry, and you must always control your emotions. We see that Jake still does not know how to fight because he is hindered by rage. In the end, the coach asks the guy to cool down, go home, and think things over. On the way home, the guy is confronted by several bullies, and one of them called Jake names. After that, a fight broke out, and applied all his skills, the guy won. And Max caught everything on camera, and the video got on the internet. As a result, Jake is now a local celebrity. Ryan didn't like the situation very much, and the bully caught Jake in the bathroom. They sparred again, but Ryan won and invited the guy to a tournament for street fighters. When Jake showed up for practice, his hands were spotted by the coach. Turns out the coach had a rule that you can't fight on the street, and the coach ended up kicking Jake out. And at home, our hero was also waiting for a scandal because the younger brother got a bruise during a tennis match but told his mother that he fought. The younger brother wants to be like his older brother in everything, and the mother is angry about it because violence is not an option. Jake also realizes this and is ashamed that his brother is taking the wrong example from him. Our hero decided by all means to return to the gym for training. Until the evening, he waited for the trainer on the street together with Max. Jake went up to the coach and confessed that he was guilty. Jake said he had come to the gym to teach a bully a lesson, but now realized that anger would ruin him. Coach forgave Jake and allowed him to return to practice. Some time passed, and our hero became a real fighter because his strength increased many times, endurance increased, and his character hardened. Now, it was no longer just a boy from the street, but a man who can be responsible for his actions and hold a blow. One day, while jogging with Coach, Jake asked why Gene was living in the gym. Coach told about his brother, Joseph. One day they were at a restaurant and were accosted by hooligans. Then Joseph started a fight, but was shot. After that, Gene's father gave up on his son. He thought that Gene should have died instead of Joseph. Afterwards, we see our hero getting ready for the competition, and the coach shows different techniques to get free from grabs. We can understand that the guy intends to win the tournament. After that, Jake comes to his brother's match for the first time. Jake noticed that his younger brother was losing, and then he raised his morale with his support, which eventually helped the guy to believe in himself and win. After that, our hero talked to Baji. The guy confessed to the girl that he was a fool, and it was not her fault that he was beaten by Ryan because he himself wanted to fight, and he himself got involved in it. After realizing all the mistakes, the girl forgave Jake. Soon Max received an SMS that the tournament will be held tomorrow at 12 o'clock at night, and he informs Jake about it. However, our hero refuses to participate because he has already outgrown this and can control himself. At a party at Ryan's house, the bully learns that Jake is not participating in the tournament, and this fact makes him very sad. Then he goes to the gym and invites Max to his house. The guys started to show the techniques of fighting, and at first, everything went well. But then Ryan called Max for sparring, and without wearing gloves, he beat him badly. After that, the bullies dumped Max outside Jake's house. In the hospital, seeing his friend beaten up, our hero decided that he had to take revenge for it. The girl tried to stop the hero, but realized that it was necessary to stop Ryan. Jake met the trainer in the parking lot, and Gene said that if you fight, you won't come to the gym afterwards. Jake explained to Coach that there was no other option, and sometimes you have to be violent to stop violence. The hero remembered Gene's story and said, "If you could have saved your brother, wouldn't you have taught those bullies a lesson?" Gene understood Jake's point and gave him approval to enter the tournament. Jake arrived home, packed a bag, and all this was seen by his mother, but she did not discourage him. After that, the boy arrived at the club where the tournament was being held. All of Jake's sparring went very well, and he demonstrated that the months of grueling training were not in vain. Our hero defeated all the fighters, but there were problems with one. This fighter broke a rib of our hero, and because of this, it was difficult for Jake to defeat him. Afterward, a girl came to Jake's locker room to support the guy. At that time, Ryan's fight was going on. Bully won the fight, but he broke the rules, and because of that, the referee disqualified him. Jake found out about it and immediately left the tournament. because he went to the tournament only for one person, for revenge against Ryan. The bully caught up with Jake in the parking lot, and the guy replied that he was ready to fight, but there were no spectators and he would be bored. Our hero was about to leave, but Ryan attacked from behind. The spectators rushed outside and the real show began. The fight was equal and each fighter has his advantages. However, suddenly Ryan applies a chokehold to our hero, but Jake takes all his will in a fist and breaks out of the hands of the bully. Our hero knocks Ryan to the ground, and in the finale gives Ryan a great kick with his foot. In the end, the main bully is defeated. Baja hugs Jake, and now the guy and his friends can live in peace. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.